applied these, maybe even GMOs, if you were to look and say, let's do a more genetic modification for consumer-facing products. Like now we have the non-browning apple. I don't think it's very widely adopted yet, but do you think that there's a chance that consumers might go, oh, there's a benefit to me? Like my colleague Jenny Hopkinson always, I think she's already asked you this, she always says the way you get millennials on board with GMOs is to make a GMO avocado that doesn't brown. So is that coming? That might be the key to people going, oh no, I'm cool with this, but I don't know. Well, I mean, is that part of it that in the future maybe we'll see, or maybe they won't be GMOs because the breeding science is becoming so precise that you don't need.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a possibility. I mean, you know, I've got my pet glowfish in the office, and you can buy, you know, pet glowfish.
What about the avocado, Rob? I mean,
we've already got the papaya. One of the first GMO products was the virus-resistant papaya that basically saved the papaya industry. So there's been consumer products. I mean, probably the product that we're most excited about that has direct consumer benefit are the production of soybeans with reduced fatty acid content that's more cardiovascular friendly, higher enrichment in omega-3s. It's, you know, about 60% of the U.S. Consumption of fats and oils comes from soya, either directly through soya products or through animals fed soya. So improving the health profile of these basic foods, I think, has an enormous consumer benefit.
You're going to also have to explain that to consumers, though, because they will not. They won't understand that it came from.
Well, that's what we have you for.
Well,
you know, I mean, we don't want to take away your job, right? I mean.
Yes, there's so many food policy
I will fully
reporters
admit that this is a tough challenge on communication, but let's step back for a second. You know, I love the National Geographic article of a few months ago that came out that said, you know, about half of the people in this country don't believe that man landed on the moon, that don't believe that, that believe that vaccines, cause autism. You know, 49% of the people don't believe in evolution. So the idea of explaining what plant breeding and GMOs are is a big challenge. But you know, you got to give. But we're seeing it. I mean, you know, we've seen the benefits in healthcare. We've seen the benefits in so many other aspects. We need to work as a society to close that gap because, you know, to have someone make the wrong personal decisions, the wrong regulatory decisions, the wrong policy decisions because they really didn't understand the consequences. You know, I think we're seeing a little bit of remorse in Britain today for, you know, making the wrong decision for the wrong reason, and that's what we want to avoid as a society.
Do you want to add final thoughts, David, before we kick it to the audience?
I just think you asked sort of what's the future, and I think one of the really important things in the future is to spend more time really thinking carefully through the risks associated with the products. So, for example, Roundup has had a lot of benefits for agriculture, but generally speaking,
explain what Roundup is.
Roundup is a herbicide, very effective herbicide. So it kills weeds, and that has led to the ability of farmers to have virtually weed-free farming. And that has benefits in terms of yield. It also has benefits in terms of helping them uptake things that, as a conservationist, I care about, like low-till agriculture, low-till farming practices. But it turns out that if you have no weeds in your field, there's nothing for other things like the monarch butterfly to eat. So we've created another problem. That's a risk that was actually foreseeable. And now, in my lifetime, we've seen the populations of monarch butterflies crash 90%. It's like, why? Oh, well, lots of reasons, but this is certainly one of them. I think we need to do a better job of anticipating those risks. And I'm definitely not saying if there's a risk, let's not do anything. But let's do a better job of anticipating what those risks are. And then instead of playing catch up, which we are doing now, and I actually have a lot of optimism on things like pollinators, that butterflies, that we actually will be able to address this problem. But we're playing catch up. And we don't, and I think rebuilding the public trust, in addition to having non-browning avocados, if we also have trust that we are in a clear-eyed, transparent way identifying what the risks are and figuring out how to take steps to minimize those risks so we can enjoy the benefits, that's going to go a long way to rebuilding that trust. Yeah.